Hey everybody, Coding Travelbug here. This is Mike. Super fast video today because I'm packing to fly to Manila tomorrow. You can see I got all my stuff in the bed here. The reason it's in a hurry is because I'm losing my last light, and I just wanted to go over about 10 points that if you're going to be traveling for a longer trip, then these are some things to keep in mind. All right. Now, when I say a longer trip, I don't mean when you're moving abroad, because when I moved here the first time, I sold everything I had in Japan, which is very cathartic, getting rid of all your old stuff. But if you're going away I'm going away for 2 months, right? So a few things to keep in mind when you're traveling. Okay. Thing number one, a towel. This is just a hummy old towel. But if you're going to be going abroad, especially if you're going to be staying in a condo or something like that, they may or may not have a towel. You don't really know. Plenty of places in other countries, you show up and they'll have all the furniture and usually some bedding, but they won't provide towels or any kind of bathroom stuff. It's a better idea to be safe. So when you arrive there, you don't have to have the hassle of going and thinking where you're going to buy a towel. In fact, a lot of what I've got here, I pack stuff with the idea that I'm going to use it when I'm there so I can toss out the containers, and then you can make room for yourself when you travel back. So one thing I would suggest bringing, this is point number 2. So protein powder or something that, that you use at home that you might think, I can buy it when I get there. But if you can fit it in your weight, then bring it. Because things like this, which are very common in the States, same like with my vitamins, right? Make sure I got them all taped up there. Your vitamins, your supplements, yes, it will probably be available in most countries, but you just don't know. And they can be really expensive. And you also can't be sure of, they'll have a brand that you can trust or something like that. Point number 3, if you're going out of the United States where things like Sinufed, that's what this is, there's a drug inside of Sinufed, I forget what it's called, that you just can't buy these. In the Philippines, these do not exist. Now, every time I go to the Philippines, I seem to get COVID. It's been 3 times I've had COVID in the Philippines. So pack the stuff you need like this. Medication that might be tricky, look online before you go. Point 4, I want to say, this is more of the stuff, right? So this is the same idea. Like I bring all these walnuts because I'm going to have a handful a day and they'll be gone. That's like a kilogram or half a kilogram right there. So if you can fit stuff in, I got my shampoo because I like this brand. Bring stuff that you can use when you're there and it will just kind of go away. All right, so let's try, do you want to say point 4? I'm going to get this wrong. For sure, I'm going to get these points wrong. So this is what's called an AeroPress. Now, my buddy Jason and his wife, when I was in Kalamazoo, were making this stuff for me every day. It's super light. You can buy them online. And I just bring some ground coffee because, again, depends on the country. All countries have coffee. It's just when you arrive, you want what you want. You don't want to have to worry about going shopping. Point 5 would be things like this. That is an extension cable. Okay. So this is the one I got. I always bring around. It's from Japan. It's very simple. So you'll probably also need some kind of adapter depending on the country. Now, when I travel to a new country, I'll bring something like this. All right. And that's because it'll work for anything. These things are not super easy to come by. When you're traveling abroad in some countries, you might think, I'll just go buy an adapter. They're often not available. Like even when I was in Cyprus, when I showed up in Malta, I found it very difficult to find other than the ones I brought with me. This is kind of a simple one. It's for Europe. So do some research, find out the plugs you need as well. But the one point that's kind of important is put your cables inside your checked-in bag. If you bring long cables or anything like that in your carry-on, they're going to take them. I've had that happen. It was very annoying because it was one of my favorite travel cables. The next one, which is a good one to bring, is this. This is a TV stick, and basically it's an Android TV thing under the hood. And then what my buddy did for me, he loaded it up with a service called Sky TV, which is a streaming service that I can use anywhere. So this thing just plugs into the back of a smart TV and HDMI. You could also do it if you have a computer that can do that. When you're traveling abroad, especially if you're renting condos, most places now will have some form of smart TV. At least it'll have HDMIs in it. And then you can really watch what you want, because keep in mind, even if you travel to a country like England, where they speak English, you might not really love what they have on TV. When I lived in England, I think they had 4 channels, and most of the time it was, don't get me wrong. Don't hate on me if you're British, because I grew up on Monty Python and I love British TV and it's great. It's just that having your own TV stuff with you is really nice. Plus, this thing will also have, it's an Android TV. It'll have Netflix preloaded, things like that. I don't normally bring my Apple TV with me, but I also use that. Okay, are we going to say 0.7? I'm not sure. If you're traveling to countries like the Philippines, for example, which has relaxed its COVID restrictions, they still might reverse that if something happens. So bring a few masks. Like, I never wear masks anymore, but bring those. I also bring some COVID tests just so I know whether I have it or not. Next point, we'll have to put this in post-production because I forget what it is some local currency. So I'm going to the Philippines. That is 1,000 pesos. Now, why is this an important point? It's an important point because when you arrive at a new country, before you go, if you buy currency, A, it's going to be more expensive, but also if you buy at the airport, you're only going to get usually large bills. Try and get smaller bills. Like this 1,000, that's about $20 US, something like that. If you take a taxi with this, when you get from the airport and you go to wherever you're going, the driver will probably tell you, oh, I can't break that, which seems, well, how can you not break $20? But if you're going to a country where, the economy is in a very different scale, that can happen. So do what you can to try and get a variety of local currency before you go. It's not super necessary, but I think it can help you. The final thing, and this is a new one for me, is get an AirTag, an Apple AirTag, or Google has a version as well. Some kind of, my buddy uses those, but I use AirTags because I'm an Apple guy. Well, I'm also an Android guy, but my ecosystem is Apple. So this is my first time putting it in my luggage. I've never lost luggage for whatever reason. This brings up to another bonus point. This little bag here, plus maybe a couple pairs of underwear and a couple shirts, that will be what my carry-on is. So I'm not going to bring too much of my carry-on because I need all the free weight that I can get for my computer, right? Because when I travel, I'm a software developer. I've got a computer, I've got a spare, another screen, I've got this camera, I've got my 360 camera. I have all kinds of stuff I bring with me. But in the case that you do lose your suitcase, or it takes a day to get to you, you don't want to arrive at your destination and not have the bare minimum you need to just, do your thing for a couple of days. At least survive a day or two so you can get to a shopping center and buy whatever you need. Okay? So I think that's about it. I bring this stuff because this is just laundry detergent. I know the place I'm going to has a laundry machine, so it's just there. Oh, another thing I also bring is a corkscrew, right? So if I buy a bottle of wine somewhere, I have a corkscrew with me. I know that sounds really stupid, but they are surprisingly hard to find in some countries. So those are the kind of little things that I bring. And in fact, I'm going to go get one and put it in my goodie bag right here. That's about it. That's about all the advice I got to give you, I'm afraid. Moral of the story: bring all the consumable stuff you can so that when you're leaving, you'll have used it all and you'll have all this extra space in your suitcase and your other bags to buy stuff at your local destination, which you're going to want to do, and bring that home. And then you never have to worry about baggage handling. If you guys have any ideas of stuff that I might have forgotten, please put them in the comments. Everyone from the Coding Travelbug, it's almost time. I can show you, let me show you the sunset. I'm just going to show you quickly. This is my last sunset in Thailand for 2 months, but there's a nice orange hue. That's the ocean over there. All right, that's about all I can see from my condo. But anyway, from the Coding Travelbug in sunny Thailand, you guys have a great day, and thanks for following. See ya.